This is Pub Battles, Antietam, by Command Post Games. McLellan has decided that he's not going to fight across the river. It's too costly. The actual advance he's planning is going to be here, across the fords and the upper bridge. Burnside is here, and he'll be crossing the center bridge, the middle bridge, when McLellan tells him, now. Here I've got my divider set to 1/3 of an infantry move. So here Hooker is starting out, and he can move 2/3 because he's going through some terrain, some woods. Longstreet's artillery fires, and Fitzjohn-Porter's lead division is driven off the hill. Jackson's artillery fires at the Union artillery on the hill, but to no effect. Jackson's artillerists check their sights and try again. This time the artillery is left in disarray and falls back. The Union artillery opens up and gives a little back. Confederate Jones is driven from the hill. In the center, the Union artillery attempts to silence Jackson's artillery, which they do. Union has unpacked baggage right here. This allows the artillery over here to have rallied, and hopefully it'll keep all the line rallying back here. Fitzjohn-Porter pulls his division back to come within range of the bags, get some supplies. On the right, Hooker's corps attacks Jackson's corps. In the historic West Woods, the Confederates are driven from the woods. Franklin's 6th Corps arrives. Here they can be seen stretched out in road column. Pleasanton's cavalry is leery of moving forward because Stuart's cavalry is here, and although they have equal numbers of cavalry, the Confederate cavalry is superior. If the Union loses their cavalry, it's going to be very hard to get anything accomplished. Union artillery opens up on Walker's troops, causing some damage. Longstreet pulls his troops off the top of the hill where they're just being targets for the artillery. Jones rallies. Walker moved off the hill, so he can't rally this turn. And Jackson's artillery is close enough to rally next turn. It's already moved this turn. Fitzjohn-Porter's division rallies, and the other division takes up a position in the sunken road. The Union artillery begins to fall silent as the Union troops engage with the Confederates. First combat is here in the center. Jackson has managed to outflank the Union attack. Doubleday division is destroyed. Meade falls back. It looks like the North has been repulsed. And in the right, Rick's division chases off the cavalry, but they take some damage. D.H. Hill attacks Mansfield's corps. Hill falls back. He was only covering for the flank attack. He bloodies Mansfield's nose. Anyway, Jackson reforms his line. Longstreet's division rallies. Now this looks like a good opportunity for Sumner's corps to make a difference. But I'm going to play as if McLellan says, okay, you know what? I want Sumner to charge. So having decided on it now, the actual charge will take place later. Simulating written orders and their transmissions, a slight delay. Franklin's 6th Corps comes online on the Union right. Hooker's corps falls back to the east woods. We need supplies brought forward quickly if we're going to keep this attack going. Fitzjohn-Porter, the Lion of Antietam, sends his corps forward, which is really just a division at this point, into the Confederate line. Mansfield's corps supports Fitzjohn-Porter's corps. Now, while the orders are being transmitted to Sumner to attack, Burnside and McLellan are holding hands right here. McLellan tells Burnside, attack. Burnside attacks. Pleasanton sends some cavalry to cover 1st Corps' retreat. Late morning, we've got one attack here in the center. It's just before lunch. Let's see what happens. Jackson's line folds back slightly, but the Iron Brigade, along with the rest of its units, push forward, putting some pressure on Fitzjohn-Porter. The Union unpacks some bags and try and rally 1st Corps. Sumner receives his orders and rushes his troops forward. Longstreet comes alive, hits Sumner's 2nd Corps hard, and Longstreet's Texans flank attack here in the center. Burnside drives hard in the Confederate center. The mistake, if I may call it this here, we'll see at the end of combat, but rather than take this opportune flank attack here, this unit should have just stayed and kept this normal straight line. Could have prevented this attack, this flank, and itself getting flanked, and kept units from pouring through the center. Hooker's Corps rallies. Fitzjohn-Porter, ever the wily commander, pulls his troops out of the trap. Here on the Union left, South drives Federals back across the southern bridge. But here in the center, Burnside's troops have a different story for the South. This hard-driving flank attack is going to weigh heavily on the South. And man, this is intense because now both elite Southern divisions are in retreat, falling back. Hood's Texans were flanked and driven back. They fell into Jackson's Iron Brigade and they're falling back. Suddenly the South position is falling apart. The lone detachment can't hold and now the bags are exposed. Though not without doing some damage, D.H. Hill's division is destroyed. So here it is, early afternoon. A.P. Hill's Light Division will be showing up. They expect it any moment. But will Burnside's initiative be too much to resist? Alright, since the chit draw is theoretically happening simultaneously, while over on this side, the bag's been contacted, and when Longstreet gets activated, he's going to unpack the bag, or pack up the bags, which means the game's over. But Jackson doesn't know that, and he unpacks his bags to stay for the long term, and what that means is these units rally and won't be easily picked off. So here they're being forced back, here they're digging in, and Lee's doing a facepalm. It's like, oh man. Pleasanton's cavalry shuffles forward. Franklin the 6th Corps dives in, trying to get a little piece of the action before the whole thing's over. Fitzjohn-Porter sends in morale. Okay, Longstreet packs up the bags, falls back. Oh, A.P. Hill would have come on. Put him right there. Jackson slips out of the noose. Mansfield supports Porter with a flank attack in the center. Jackson destroys part of Burnside's corps. The South is driven back in all the combat that occurs. All the fighting is driven the South back, and the South is pulling back anyway, and they've been forced back as they pack up their bags. Although actual casualties have been light, the South loses more points there too. So in this case, it's a Northern major victory. Good game.